Hey, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening on the Saturday Night Hockey Show. I am, as always, joined by Travis Rednick. How you doing, sir?
What's going on, Dave?
I'm doing good, man. I'm just living the barbecue dream today. So,
Yeah, that brisket looked phenomenal. I
well,
think that's the
so
hot of the week. Is it Dave made brisket today? And it, dude, that was some good
it
looking
was,
meat.
it was a sweet bark, sweet smoke ring. Because it was two pieces of meat instead of one solid brisket. It was a little tough. So, I mean, it was still delicious. So don't get me wrong on that, but it was a little tougher than I like. And I think if I did a solid one piece brisket with the point in the flat, that I think it would have come out just fine. The first time I did it, it was ridiculously juicy and awesome. But this one was a little
We,
tough.
yeah, it's a live and learn situation, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I'll definitely learn again because I love brisket and I'll make it all the game time if I have to. Um, So we've had a few games already rock out this afternoon. We'll take a look at the scores. The Rangers beat the Devils 6-3. My Sabres getting whipped by the Islanders all 5 times this season. Uh,
But
three
today they put in an effort. Look at that. They scored twice.
goals, two
Two
goals.
goals.
That's substantial. Now they've lost 8 in a row to the Islanders, and in all 8 games they have not scored more than 2 goals. So unless Jesus gets into the nets and saves everything, Sabres are hopeless unless they maybe the arena crashes or something. I don't know. I don't know what to do with this team. We'll get
They
into
need Stu Grimson to come teach them how to play. Like in the
that.
Mighty Ducks, you remember?
Yeah, I need something, man. It's hot garbage. Flyers beat the Penguins. Or I'm sorry, the Penguins beat the Flyers today. And
Which,
they're,
wow, who'd have thought that was going to happen?
Penguins are playing some good hockey, and I think you're starting to see some separation between the top half of that division. Certainly the Devils and the Sabres are right there at the bottom right now. Um, uh, the Rangers, their poor start may mean that they get left behind as well. But they're coming on right now, and the Panthers today dropped the Predators 6-2. This Panther team is for real. Uh, it's not they had a good start. Now this team's for real now. They're 23 games into the season, and they're right there at the top of the division. So
Yeah, man,
uh,
I spent the first half of this, or I spent the past few weeks waiting for that first half of the season to blow over and then go back to the incompetent, poor, no goal scoring, no net minding Panthers. They're looking like they're in it to win it right now, which is really weird. It's
yeah, I
not
mean this
something I
is
expected this season.
And this was a Bob game, so they only got 2 goals, and it was like a 4-1 lead going into the third period. So, he played pretty solid today, although he got ran pretty late in the game, and um, he was a little bit awkward, a little ginger getting up. He finished the game, but we'll see how he goes beyond that. But we got a few games starting at 7 o'clock tonight. Minnesota and Arizona are playing. Toronto and Vancouver are playing at 7 as well, and then Montreal and Winnipeg. So you got a couple of Hockey Night in Canada games. Montreal and Toronto, or Montreal and Vancouver hosting the Hockey Night in Canada games. Later games tonight, you've got 8 o'clock starts in Colorado against Arizona, Dallas against Columbus, the Kings against St. Louis starts at 9 p.m. this evening. We've got Calgary and Edmonton, the late game on Hockey Night in Canada, starting at 10, and at 10:30, the Vegas Golden Knights and the San Jose Sharks. Which, if you haven't watched those 2 games that they played already this week, they were pretty entertaining. They uh, last night's game was like a 5-4 win for the Golden Knights. So
Yeah, San Jose showed up, and that's
lost.
amazing.
They still lost. They're scoring goals. That's the thing with San Jose. They're scoring goals right now, but they are just not getting any help. And then
For as irrelevant as San Jose is right now, I feel like they should have given him a point for effort.
Yeah,
It's not going to matter anyway. Treat it like it's an overtime game.
exactly. So you were close. That's honestly, if the Sabres get a goal in a game, they should give them a point. Just at this
Give them a
point.
gold star. Everybody gets a gold star on their helmet, and
Fair.
eventually they look like Vegas's their AHL team. Henderson, the golden
Yeah.
helmet, or they'll look like Vegas
Full
with the golden helmets.
Yeah.
It might take 20 years.
Well, I think Ohio State does that with their hockey team. They do the Buckeyes like they do for the football team.
Yes, which is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen.
Well, sure, I'm not a fan of the.
If you need a sticker every time you do something,
you have an
that's
easy job.
Pee-wee,
One
man.
robots will be doing soon.
Yeah, that's Pee-wee.
Yeah. If you have a question, just feel free to drop something in on the Facebook feed or Twitter, and we'll be happy to address it. So this week,
that's my goal for this week. Actually, is I want at least one good question from somebody.
Yeah, drop us a question.
Just give us something to work with here, guys. Come on, we're trying.
Yeah, exactly. But if not, we got some stuff going. This week we had another firing in the NHL. And it was kind of a surprising one because this was a guy that wasn't, Calgary has underperformed this season. But I did, they had just hired this guy. I don't think he got a fair shake as far as, what's going on in Calgary. But Jeff Ward was let go by the Calgary Flames, and they've decided to go back to the future and bring in former coach Brent Sutter, or I'm sorry, which Sutter is this one?
Brent.
What's that?
Brent. So
no, is it Brent Sutter?
I think it's Brent, not Brett.
Well, no, there is Brent Sutter, but former LA Kings coach. Anyway,
Let's see. I got it. I'll grab it.
Daryl Sutter. I'm sorry, it is Daryl Sutter.
Daryl.
That's who it is. But Daryl Sutter took over takes over the Flames. I don't think he actually takes over officially until Monday. The assistants are going to coach tonight in Edmonton. Back to the future. Daryl Sutter coached them in the early 2000s. Went to the Stanley Cup with them against Tampa. Didn't get the cup then. He did win 2 cups with the LA Kings. I just think this was a little premature for the. Yes, thank you, Morgan. Yes, Daryl Sutter. I think it was very premature for the Calgary Flames to pull the trigger on this one. There are a few coaches in the NHL that I would have, if you said a coach was getting fired this week, I would have picked probably 6 or 7 of them before.
Talkett is my number one next fire.
Really?
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I think Kruger is the next fire.
I don't think that Talkett being fired is a good decision, but I do think that it is an up and coming decision, especially in the series against Minnesota, because Minnesota is going to beat the crap out of us every game. We're going to get stoned. Last night you had severe underperformance by Nick Schmaltz, Phil Kessel, Connor Garland, and I love talk, but I think that it's going to catch up that we're not doing anything. Because Minnesota in Arizona's eyes is still that like easy beat. It's weird because we alternate years. It's like Minnesota is either our biggest rival and we're fighting them for playoff contention, or they're the team that we walk on.
Yeah. I don't think that they're going to, I mean, unless Arizona believes that this is going to give them kind of that boost to propel them up the standings. I don't think that that's going to happen. Something's got to happen in Buffalo. There are 6 straight losses. The team just looks awful. And I mean,
I think that like management, we got
Nashville Bohemian, man, Natty Bo.
Oh,
Baltimore beer.
Should brought some Lone Star whenever I came back up from Texas.
Nice.
I'll get you some. Speaking of Texas, before we get into major coaching stuff, thank you to my friend David McNeil for sneaking into the closet at the rink that he refs at and stealing me this beer league jersey.
Nice.
Thank you, Dave. He's a cool guy. I just bought a bunch of hockey cards off of him. I had to drive down and pick them up. I drove 22 hours straight to pick up hockey cards. But
God,
yeah, that was just one way too.
wow.
Yeah, it was like a $40,000 collection of cards.
But thanks to Alexander and Morgan for watching with us. And if you're watching out there, give us a like and a thumbs up, and drop us a comment and let us know.
Say something.
Yeah, we got something. Morgan also correctly identified Daryl Sutter as the coach of the Calgary Flames now.
And he gets a gold star.
That's right. That. You get a helmet sticker.
Please come to the office and turn in that voucher. But yeah, coaching situations, man. I think that Buffalo realizes that nothing is going to help this situation. Like this year. This year's scrapped in Buffalo.
Well, I think here's the reason why something needs to happen is that you are now allowing players that you really want to take that next step in their career. Guys like Rasmus Dahlin, Cousins, even Eichel, you want them to make that next step, and they're playing on a team that is absolutely regressing right now. There's nothing positive coming out of Buffalo, and you're threatening the chance of having some. I mean, this team has. It's not a team without talent. It has 9 top 10 draft picks on the roster. It has I think 12 or 13 first round picks overall on the roster. I mean, it's not a roster devoid of talent, and there's some decent names on the. I mean, you're talking Taylor Hall, who was first overall. You're talking Eric Stahl, Jack Eichel, Rasmus Dahlin. I mean, it's not like they're missing talent. They're missing goaltending at this point, with Linus Ullmark being out for a good chunk of the season. How long before we see Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen come up from Rochester? I know that they wanted to give him a full season down there, but you're going to have to bring this guy up soon. This is not acceptable. You can't let these people exist in this culture that I don't know if they've turned off, Ralph Krueger. Ralph Krueger is, the thing that a lot of people brought up about Ralph Krueger when they brought him in was, he's like this world famous motivational speaker. He has books, about motivation and leadership and everything like that. And he's a very positive person. Like the guys in the room love him, but if you really love Ralph Krueger, you should be playing a whole lot better for this dude, because he's going to get fired soon. And, I wouldn't be surprised if the Sabres bring in Attila the Hun to put a boot up the ass of a lot of these players.
Well, maybe they'll just stick with the same theme and get Tony Robbins.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Arizona, man, we'll get another enforcer as a coach. That seems to be like a reoccurring theme with Arizona. It's I'm on a Grimson kick. I got a Grimson stick the other day, so I'm just saying Grim Reaper all day. Stu Grimson would be the coolest coach ever. Did you see him behind the bench, like threatening other players again? Yeah, because that's where he deserves to be. He should be shaking his fist at Tortorella.
Could you imagine a coach fight between? I remember back in 2005, 2006 when Buffalo and Ottawa had their big line brawl. Yeah, Lindy Ruff was trying to get it at oh God, what was his name? The Terry Murray, the coach of the Senators, and he like fell and like scraped up his leg pretty hard. But
Stu Grimson and Tortorella would basically just be Zdeno Chara and Brad Marchand.
No, it'd be awesome. I'd love to see that. But so we're getting into coach firings. Again, I think Calgary's firing of Ward was just premature at this point. But perhaps Sutter. Sutter is known as a disciplinarian, and will probably get more out of the team than Ward was getting. And Calgary is not out of it. But that division is really firming up. You've got 2 teams that are out of it for all intents and purposes. You've got Vancouver has already played half their games. They're way back right now, and Ottawa, of course. But they're not the last. They're not last in the NHL anymore.
Yeah, now is it Detroit?
No.
Oh no, Buffalo.
Sabres. Sabres are 31.
Honestly,
Thank God Seattle's not in the league, or we'd be 32.
Well, you're to such a level of irrelevance. Honestly, I kind of forget the Buffalo's a team, other than for sake of you.
Yeah.
Which, if I was in your shoes, I think that's what I would want to happen. I would want to be forgotten. It's like Mussolini. Nobody remembers the fourth general. You know, it's just,
oh God, it's awful. But there's always next season, or like 13 seasons from now. I don't know.
Hey, I mean, the talent's there.
Talent's
just
there.
Nothing else.
Won't be there for long.
Not fans, coaching staff, merchandise sales.
Well, that's the thing.
Lead support.
Buffalo does good in all that stuff, like fan support. The hell are you talking about, Alexa? Bitch.
You have out of everyone in the world that I could see from Alexa, you're bottom of the list.
Yeah, I do. I figure I'm already on lists, and they're already listening through my computer. They're probably watching the show right now, so I'm going to count them as part of my ratings. NSA and all the alphabet soup agencies. So
the Canadian shadow government is watching us.
Sweet. They want to know what we know about hockey. But Kevin Adams this week, just the other day, actually came out and dropped bombs on the Sabres, saying that their play is unacceptable and everything's under review.
Yes,
which leads me to think that perhaps Kruger is, and after today's performance, which is a repeat of Thursday's performance, it's going to happen.
Maybe you're just going to start talking to.
Hopefully they bring in somebody. I mean, I like Kevin Adams. I think he's going to be fine as a general manager, but they need to bring in somebody that runs hockey operations that's not named Pagula, because neither Kim or Terry have proven over the years they have no grasp of how to run a hockey organization. They're able to take that, their hands off of the Buffalo Bills and allow them to grow, but they haven't done that with the Sabres yet. And bring in Jim Rutherford, make him be the president of hockey operations, and let him run the team. And step back and once Buffalo, if you get Buffalo into the playoffs, man, people love you. That town is so ready for winning that just getting into the playoffs is great. Now, a couple of years after getting into the playoffs, they're going to start expecting further growth, but that just get in the damn playoffs. It's 9 years. We're going on 10. I don't see this climbing out in the next couple of years.
But you know what should make you feel better?
This beer.
The Atlanta Thrashers have made the playoffs as many times since 2013 as the Edmonton Oilers.
Well, I mean, if you're counting the Winnipeg Jets and that, the Atlanta Thrashers,
neither of them have. It's been a no-show.
had up until there we go. That was interesting. So the Atlanta Thrashers made the playoffs in 2006, 2007. I was there. It was they played the Rangers in the first round of the playoffs and got swept. And Edmonton did not play a playoff series from the time that they went to the Cup in 2005 and lost to Carolina, and didn't. They played one playoff series up until last year, and they were put into the playoffs with the play-in round crap.
So,
yeah,
doesn't count.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to make you feel better. One sucky team to another. I just wish one of us was like a fan of a winning team so we could brag about it.
Well, you're a 500 team.
That's all.
It's better than what we got.
Yeah, but Arizona hasn't. We just don't have any chance to actually do anything. Like, we show up a little bit, but you talk about a team that chokes. I mean,
they had a good run in the playoffs last year.
if we could just chew those hard-boiled eggs before we swallowed them, we'd be fine. But this team, that run last year was such a joke. Everything about this team right now is almost terrible. You know, we don't have any prospects really either.
Yeah.
We have one decent defenseman coming up. I mean, things are not
it didn't
going.
help. It didn't help you your draft getting eviscerated last year with the whole what's his
COVID
name?
protocol.
Well, you had you lost the first round draft pick, and
we lost next year too.
Yeah, the Chaika issue. So that didn't help at all. But
which I don't think that the team should suffer because we had a bad GM. But
yeah,
whatever. That's the league. That's how they're going to handle it. They don't want any underdog to show up unless it's like well organized underdog showing up.
Yeah. So last night in the Capitals Boston game, there was a questionable hit. Our fan favorite Tom Wilson.
Well, trash can Tom.
Yep. Had a high head hit on Brandon Carlo in the corner. Carlo actually went to the hospital. It was a pretty nasty hit. I know you think it was a clean hit. And I do understand that he did kind of lower himself at the last second. But you also see Tom Wilson throwing his elbow up. And I think he's probably going to get at least 5 off of this.
I mean, I hope so just because it's Tom Wilson. I hate to defend the guy for any reason. There's never a situation where I'm like, yeah, Tom Wilson didn't do anything wrong. Tom Wilson is doing something wrong by being in this league. Okay? That's how I feel about the guy. But, yeah, no, seriously, I hate Tom Wilson. Tom Wilson is up there in my top 3 least favorite people in the world, which is saying something because there's, baby killers out there, among other things. But Tom Wilson, you're number 3. I'm leaving the top 2 open to interpretation.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think it was a dirty hit, man. I think that Carlo ducked because he saw Tom Wilson coming up, and Tom Wilson tried to hit him dirty, and it just worked out that it wasn't a dirty hit, I understand he got gloved a little, or he got elbowed a little bit in the jaw. I mean, it's a hockey play. It should be charging just for how fast he went at him. He made no effort to stop.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it should go past a minor penalty.
I don't know. I mean, they didn't even throw, they didn't even call a penalty on that play. That was not called. But, he is getting a hearing with the NHL. So usually.
Yeah, they're doing that tomorrow?
Yeah, I think so. And usually when they call a hearing on a repeat offender, this is going to be a few games.
It's going to be 3 minimum.
Well, that's the thing. He's got that past history. The hit on the kid from St. Louis. That he got a 20-game suspension off that. Yeah. I think that was reduced a little bit, but that was a preseason hit where he took. It was a definite charge, and he caught him in the head and everything. So if he's got a history, he's probably going to get. My guess is about 5, just because they're not going to give him the 2-game suspension because he is a repeat offender. So if they're going to call a hearing about this, it's going to be something significant.
Well, and they have to make some type of example.
Sure,
and
I think at some point they're gonna start. If they don't do something, there's going to be calls for them to kind of adopt that Canadian junior, where if any hit to the head is immediately kicked out of the game, and then they review it after the game for supplemental discipline.
Which, and it's funny you say that because I still remember one game specifically. We brought it up on the show before where that happened, and that was Corey Perry in the Winter Classic.
Yep.
I totally stand behind that. I think that that's what they should have been doing for a while. This is not Scott Stevens Hockey League anymore.
No.
And, it should reflect that. The stuff should be taken seriously. I love fights. I love good hits. dirty, fast paced, don't give them time to catch their breath and just nail them hits are not fun to watch. And they are a danger to the league. And it's hits like that have gotten us to where we can't have anything nice anymore.
Yeah.
We can't have real hits. We can't, everybody's so scared that it's going to be called a head hit. Guys won't even touch each other.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the future. I mean, they don't want a situation where you got a guy like Sidney Crosby who can't play significant portions of a year because he's got, concussion issues.
Which we've seen it before. I think that guys forget, like Lindros.
Oh yeah, Lindros, Pat LaFontaine,
Paul Correa.
Paul Correa's career was cut short. Yeah, I mean it's. Paul Correa got that nasty hit from Eric Lindros in the Stanley Cup Finals, knocked him out.
Well, then you had the Stevens hit. Scott Stevens is what.
And but he scored later that game, which was, kind of the amazing thing. Like, he was literally out on the ice.
Yeah. I don't think anything will top Jeremy Roenick in Arizona, though. Whenever he got his jaw broke.
Yeah.
And you see pictures of him on the bench, and his jaw is, like, completely disconnected, and you can see, like, the disconnect in the skin where the bone is off of his face.
Yeah.
And he's just, like, shaking his head, washing his mouth out with water so he could take another shift, That was disgusting. That was cool. That was horror movie quality. But yeah, they're definitely going to do something about it at some point, and it can't happen soon enough, honestly.
Yeah. A sad note. This morning, I saw the news that Mark Pavlich, member of the 1980 Miracle on Ice team, he had an assist on Mike Eruzioni's game-winning goal in the game against the Soviets. Passed away today. He's had some mental health issues over the years. He was actually in a rehab facility, and they found him dead this morning. No word on cause, whatever happened to him, but it's a sad note. These guys are getting older, and we're starting to lose these guys.
Yeah. Also, Wayne Gretzky's dad passed away.
Yeah.
2 days ago, I believe.
Yes.
The father of Hockey Canada. So.
Yeah. Exactly.
Shout out to the Gretzky family. Yeah. That's a big one, though.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, let's go to our hot and not teams for the week here. We are in the North Division. Bob and Doug McKenzie taking off. What do you got for your hot player in this division this week?
Honestly, I haven't even followed any Northern games this week like I normally would. It's been a pretty wild week with work. I know that your hot is Mark Scheifele from Winnipeg. Winnipeg is really pushing, huh? Winnipeg's making a good run.
Yeah. Mark Scheifele is more than a point of game player. He's got 32 points in 23 games. And, Winnipeg has quietly moved up the standings, and they're in second place. Now, they're still a ways behind Toronto. I think Toronto is probably going to, run this wire to wire.
Yeah, Toronto can coast now.
Yeah. But Winnipeg, they're playing really well. You got a world-class goalie in Connor Hellebuck, and you've got some scoring. I haven't really dipped in on Pierre-Luc Dubois, see how he's doing up in Winnipeg, but Mark Scheifele's carrying the load in that team, and this division, you're starting to see that separation. Then part of the reason why I say Calgary's firing was a little bit premature is that they're still in it. They're fifth.
Oh yeah.
But they're still in it. They're not. I mean, I don't know that I would have hit the panic button on this one just yet, especially with Montreal struggling, and then Edmonton starting to return back to earth.
Montreal is definitely going down from here.
Them and Montreal, I could see Edmonton, just falling apart. When they realize that their goaltender is Mike Smith. I mean, just gonna like wake up and like, oh crap, we got one line. That's it.
Yeah, Edmonton goaltending and the inconsistencies with Carey Price are definitely my two knots for the division, because that's one thing that's not going to change.
Yeah. For that division, I've got not hot. Well, basically just Calgary for panic firing Jeff Ward,
or just Calgary, the city of Calgary.
Or well, I still like the Saddle Dome. That's that's probably the most interesting looking building in the league.
And if that is the one thing that you get to ride off of, yikes, boys. Good luck up there.
Actually, I do want to go to the Calgary Stampede one day. I think that would be a good time.
I recently was offered a job at the Calgary Stampede.
Really?
I have some very good friends in Calgary, specifically in Airedale.
Okay.
And one of my business partners is also in Calgary. But my close friend in Airedale offered me, he's the operator of security for the Stampede. He's the head of security operations for the Stampede. So next Stampede, I will be acting as bouncer.
Nice.
For the Stampede.
That is awesome, dude. Yeah, because I like rodeos. I think rodeos are, of the sports in the world, I think rodeo is probably one of the most underrated sports. It's fairly entertaining.
Yeah, it's just such a short duration of entertaining, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, because it's like football.
It's like a Mike Tyson fight.
Well, it's like football. You get like 10 seconds of heavy action, and then you got some downtime between bull rides or calf roping or whatever else is going on, or checking out those ladies doing the barrel racing and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I would put that up as far as entertainment against anything, because it really is an entertaining sport to watch, especially the bull riding. That's the money part of the sport. But
I think the curling is the most interesting sport to watch.
Women's curling, yes.
It's just curling.
They just had the Scotty's Tournament of Hearts, and let me tell you, I fell in love a lot watching that show.
Yeah, I
love curling because, again, it's an interesting game, and it's like it's Canadian bocce ball to me.
Well, out of every sport in the world that you need skin tight clothing, curling isn't it, and I'm not complaining.
I'm not complaining, and women screaming hard.
Yeah.
There's only two places that you see that. It's curling and Pornhub, pretty much. But
go Team Canada. This show has the weirdest sidebars. I love this.
We've gone off the rails. Again, feel free to drop us a comment in the chat. We'll be happy to discuss it. If you want to call me a pig for loving women's curling and women's volleyball, by the way. Yeah, yeah.
Fun fact about women's volleyball: my ex-girlfriend that is now in Missouri was Shaquille O'Neal's daughter's volleyball coach.
Oh, okay. I would assume that she's probably very tall.
She is not.
Oh, okay.
Wait, my ex?
No. The
I don't know any other information.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. In fact, my alma mater is playing volleyball right now. They're 9-0 on the season.
You actually follow it, like on purpose?
They moved all the fall sports to the spring this year, and so yeah, they're playing, and I'm missing it.
What are we now? Are we a hockey show? Is this just like a weird comedic conversation for a few hours?
Pretty much everything.
I think that you're finally feeding on my weird. You started out so serious, and now I've just drug you to the bottom.
Oh no, this is me normally.
Bottom feeders.
I'm there in the bottom as well. So, all right, Central Division. Let's get back on hockey, I guess.
Big news in the Central. Alex DeBrincat has
What?
decided to retire.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Alex DeBrincat?
Alex DeBrincat says he's no longer fit to play professional hockey.
What happened?
He decided to quit.
Well, I know Brent Seabrook, who had
Seabrook.
Oh,
Yeah,
Seabrook. Oh,
I don't know why I mix those two
Brent's
guys up.
young,
Oh,
man.
I know why I mix. No, I mix them up because they both played for Erie.
Oh, okay. I
That's
was
why I
like,
mix 'em
I knew Brent Seabrook had retired, but Brent
Seabrook.
really hadn't played in almost 2 years. So,
Yeah, but it's a testament to the failing Chicago Cup team of 2010 that's really fallen off, because this year they've lost Jonathan Taves, they've lost Seabrook. Patrick Kane looks like he would do anything in the world to get out of Chicago.
but Chicago. Chicago's still in fourth.
Yeah, but realistically, how long are they going to look at who they're playing with? It's hard to not be fourth in this division right now, because you've got the knot of the week, or mine and yours is definitely the same. What happened in Dallas, man? Wow.
You know what? It's the 2 stoppages for them, I think.
Dude, I don't think you can excuse this.
Yeah, it's
a cup-run team that is in eighth.
Well, they had the issue with Hudobin, who got the prima donna thing going and got benched, and then they had the second stoppage where they had the power issues in Texas off of the deep freeze that they went through, and coming out of that, coming out of that, they're like 1-5.
Yeah, but look at how they started the season.
Yeah, well, the first game, and again, look at Nashville. Nashville is just hot garbage this year. You can chalk up Dallas to a point, because they really do have just a few games played versus say Nashville or Detroit. Yes, they're below them, but you have to go off a point percentage, and they would be fifth or sixth in point percentage.
That's still for this team.
Yeah,
I mean, for this team, 6 is embarrassing. We're talking about a cup run team that really almost had it.
Yeah,
they honestly were inches. That game could have went either way. I was counting on Dallas to win it. I had Dallas as a pretty heavy underdog. Actually, last year I called Dallas as the cup winner before the season even started last year. I said Dallas is going to win a cup this year. I was wrong, but by a hair,
Well, they had a great start last year, and that kind of got lost with the COVID and everything. They didn't have
but their run is fantastic.
But yeah, they came out. Once they fired their coach and brought Bonus in, then they went on that run and got into a solid playoff position and made a decent run. And they had tons of talent, and they still do have tons of talent.
Yeah, but their talent is so underperforming right now. Miro Heiskanen has scored 1 goal this season.
Yeah,
I understand he's a defenseman, but out of 18 games, he did miss a few. But
yeah, he didn't start the season, so
no. But I mean, that's like my number 5 defenseman in the league. You know, I love Heiskanen. It's just that the team has completely fallen apart.
And I wonder how much you chalk that up to what happened with Hudobin. Bishop has been out long term. Hudobin went, he went prima donna and, kind of wore out his welcome in there. But why no? Oh, so we got a comment. Morgan Riggs says, "Sure, let's talk about hockey, but why not women's hockey?" I love women's hockey. Actually,
I had something to say about that towards the end here.
Yeah, but they're doing a special kind of tournament thing that they're doing this week, like the Gap Cup or something like that.
Have you seen all the players coming out to support to support a televised women's hockey league?
Oh man, yeah.
Everybody's for it. If you're not for women's hockey, Give
Yeah.
me like one good reason that I would be against it. Just one.
Basically, if you don't like women's hockey, it's basically because you don't like hockey to begin with.
But that,
But
or you're just like misogynistic and you're afraid that you're going to lose a little bit of airtime.
yeah, the women's game of the sports, to me, the one that loses the least transitioning between men's and women's sports is hockey. Soccer to an extent as well, but hockey is still a very, very fast paced. They don't have checking in women's hockey, which I think they should get rid of that rule. I think
Treat it like hockey.
Yeah, treat it
Just
like,
treat it
treat
like
it like hockey. Don't put the training wheels on women's hockey.
Which,
Let it be real hockey, because you know what, you watch a game between US and Canada, if you had some checking in there, that would be
yeah.
a fantastic game to watch, because it already is a fantastic game to watch. But if you threw some checking in there, oh my goodness.
From what I've seen of women's hockey, I put it on the same level of entertainment as like IHF or IIHF games.
Yeah.
It feels like juniors hockey, and I'm totally for that. I
Yeah.
love watching juniors hockey.
Yeah. Well, it's it kind of has that bigger ice feel and everything like that. That that you don't see as much checking in the international game as you do
Right.
in the North American game. But man, I tell you what, women's hockey is fantastic. I love it. I would love to see a televised women's league. I would watch it.
I would probably choose most women's games over
I'd watch them before I watch
most
the
crappy men's games.
I'd watch
I mean,
them before I watch
if it's another Chicago Detroit game and you're like,
Buffalo.
women's hockey's on, it's the same thing. I mean, I'm going to see it either way, so I might as well watch the ones that are fun to look at.
Yeah. No, the quality of the games are I think they're better than if you watch if you watch my Sabres sometimes, you're just like, good God, what, these guys get paid lots of money to play this bad.
My favorite moment of this year has been Patty Kane commenting on women's hockey.
Oh, what do you say?
They asked Patrick Kane how he felt about women's hockey. He was more Matthew McConaughey than Matthew McConaughey. And he went, all right. And that was all.
Oh, Patrick Kane. Yeah. But I'm all for more women's hockey games on TV. And if you're watching anything like the Olympics or anything like that, the U.S. versus Canada, whether it's the men's or the women's, those games are always top-notch, fantastic games, and top-notch hockey, because both teams are just head and shoulders above their competition within international hockey. You're starting to see some teams like Finland's got a pretty decent women's hockey team. Sweden's starting to develop it. It's kind of your traditional hockey powers are getting better. The Russians are still kind of behind because they are very misogynistic when it comes to women's sports, well, at least hockey.
Yeah, but they're A1 on gymnastics.
What's that?
Yeah, but they're A1 on gymnastics.
Oh yeah, Russians, they're good about funding their traditional Olympic sports. The stuff that's come on later, like women's hockey, some of the like the snowboarding and shit like that, they don't fund that at all. They're more of a traditional sports funding organization. So yeah, we talked about my hot team is Carolina. Man, they had a bounce back week. They came into last week. I bombed on them because they had lost 4 in a row. They're on a 4-game winning streak now. They're starting to move back up the central standings. They swept Florida in a Saturday Monday 2-game set. Both of them are overtimes. Man, if the standings, if this is what it looks like at the end of the year and Florida's in second and Carolina's in third, I will buy that series all day long. That is going to be a very entertaining series.
Absolutely. My hot right now, by a long shot, Noah Kari.
Oh yeah.
Got a hat trick the other night.
Yep.
He's keeping up with Huberdeau.
Yeah.
That's a pretty deadly setup right now.
Yeah, Nolan Kari, he got a hat trick today against Nashville.
Was it today?
Well, he got one today. Yeah, I was watching that game. He's
It was today.
he
I don't know what
he
game
does
I'm thinking.
he does score in bunches. Remember, he had like a 2 hat tricks in a row. I'm not sure what it was last
When he
year.
had a 4-goal night.
Yeah. Well, he had like a 4-goal and then a hat trick the next night.
Yeah.
So he scores in bunches. If he can even it out and be more consistent, I think he will.
I mean, imagine if they
Maybe
figure
next
out what that on switch is and make sure that he gets a Dr. Pepper that's been shaken 3 times and like served in a boot or something, and it just turns him on. He gets a hat trick every game.
I guess. Yeah, definitely. Let's see. Let's roll on to the East Division. My hot team in the East Division, it's a team because it's the one that's been feeding on my Sabres, the New York Islanders. They've rocketed to the top of the division. Remember we were talking at the beginning of the season that what's wrong with the Islanders? The Islanders gotten off to a really slow start. They were 7th in the East, and man, they've had to come up. They're
Quick, very quick.
And I mean, yeah, they're playing Buffalo, but they are looking like they're ready to make a nice run in the playoffs. Just there are times where Buffalo just they touch the puck and it almost looks like for large swaths of the game that Buffalo was shorthanded like the whole time. And they just never these last 2 games that they played, they just have not had a sniff. Even Buffalo got out to a 1-0 lead today and led 1-0 after the first. Then Matt Barzal just scored this stupid goal. Like he went between the legs and strong side on Carter Hutton, and from there it just kind of like the Sabres crumpled like an aluminum chair under my fat ass. It was not pretty. It was within 5 minutes, like 3 more goals had been scored, and it was just over from there.
Yeah, they were very wrongfully celebratory. Like the Sabres look like they thought they just won a playoff game. I feel like that's never a good look for the Sabres.
We're just happy that we scored. Shit, man.
Yeah, right.
We got a goal.
My thought for this division is the Rangers, and I know it sounds weird with them being in 6th, rightfully in 6th. They're really not performing to a high level. But between Adam Fox, who, wow, and the kid looks fantastic. He's playing like Bobby Orr right now. Between Adam Fox and Chris Kreider, hat trick the other night. Kid looks fantastic.
Yep.
New York might have some real up and coming weapons in the absence of Panarin.
Well, it's funny because Adam Fox and Keandre Miller are kind of leading that defensive core. Jacob Trouba's looked kind of lost this season, and but they've really picked up the pace, and for a team that is 6th, they are they're a plus on their goal differential this year. Maybe they're coming up. It took them a while to get their feet. They're still 4 points out of a playoff spot. They do have a game in hand on Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. Well, they had Philadelphia has a game in hand on them for 4th, but this is now a 6-team race. Buffalo and New Jersey are out of it. And I'll be interested to see how that shuffles in and out. Washington, Boston are pretty solid. It's that 4th place in that division. I could still see this finishing as we see it right now with Philadelphia.
Yeah.
But if the Rangers, the thing about the Rangers, they've got 3, but their opponents this week were Buffalo and
right.
And let's see them against Boston, and they've had some really good games against Boston. The Islanders and Washington see more games for the Rangers against those teams. We start really getting on their bandwagon as being a team that's on the up and up. Pittsburgh's kind of muddling along. They're dangerous because you still have Crosby and Malkin, but
And Malkin looked really good today.
he did. Yeah, he did.
Malkin looked like unusually good today.
Yeah, nice wraparound goal for him. Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, that's always going to be a slogfest, and I'm for that. I don't think we'll see him in the playoffs this year. One of them is going to miss.
No, one of them has to, because you're not the top three teams right now. You're not going to knock out of being a top three team.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think you're going to supplant them. Although it's not that far for Pittsburgh at this point, even to Boston right now. So,
yeah, but I think the scheduling is going to be a big thing here.
Yeah,
because like Boston's already played their series with Washington.
Yeah,
and I feel like playing Washington is kind of the big determining factor for like where you're going to land for the season. Because I don't think the Boston's had their Jersey games yet.
No, they played a couple. In fact, Jersey, when they were looking good earlier in the season, they had it.
That's right. They had that one.
They had a couple. Had a win and an overtime loss against Boston. That they were looking good there, but man, they've really fallen off. And it's probably the same situation as with New Jersey as it is with Buffalo. That you're getting all these games stacked on top of one another because of the COVID break that they were on.
Yeah.
That they're just not gonna have the oomph to make a run back into this. Not being down. Buffalo is 12 points out of a playoff spot, and New Jersey's 11 points out.
Yeah, that's not a deficit that you can make up right now.
No. Buffalo and New Jersey do have plenty of games left, but yeah, again, they're all stuffed into back-to-backs and 5 and 6 nights and all that crap. So
I think that the race between the Rangers, the Penguins, and the Flyers for that 4th spot is going to be one of the most interesting battles, up and coming in the league.
Yeah. I really don't need to tell you who my not hot team is in this division.
Womp womp.
Fragile must be the Sabres. But yeah, so let's go out west.
Oh, mine's Trash Can Tom.
Oh, Trash Can Town? Not
Trash Can Tom.
Yeah.
Not because he did anything wrong, just because somebody said his name enough this week for me to remember he exists. Trash Can Tom.
All right.
I really don't like that guy.
All right. So West Division, we talked about this division last week as being incredibly close from top to bottom. We did have some issues, COVID out there with, Vegas losing some games, Colorado losing some games, Minnesota losing some games. But everybody was kind of bunched around that 23, 24, 25 point mark. Vegas has separated themselves out. They were on a 5-game trot.
And that's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, and Marc-Andre Fleury has – now I know that Leonard has an upper body injury. I think he's about to come back. But Marc-Andre Fleury has taken the reins of this team. He's still got a sub-2 goals against average. He's played 14 games of the 20 that they
got the save of the year the other night.
Yeah, I mean he
nothing's going to come up against that.
Yeah, he just plays lights out. But they've got the luxury of having 2 decent goaltenders that once Leonard comes back, if he kind of regains his form, Vegas has got the goaltending to overcome even Colorado's goal scoring, which has been very inconsistent this year. Less consistent than we thought that it would be when we started the season.
I honestly thought that McKinnon would be at 20 goals by now. I know he had a few games out.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Rantanen – no, Landeskog the other day had a pretty good game and stepped up. McKinnon got some good assists off of him. But this team has been surprisingly inconsistent.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're 2 in a row, 1-2 in a row. But, I thought that they would be a lot further along. And
they're even with Minnesota.
But you know what? I'm happy because they're back playing. Even though they've struggled, the Sabres are back playing. So my fantasy hockey team's got all their players, and I've been winning since they're all back. So
I had first pick in our league, and I drafted McKinnon over McDavid.
Ouch.
I feel so dumb, man. I really do. I don't know why I would have made that decision. It seemed like a smart one at the time. I was like, hey, I'm getting one over on everybody. Whoever got McDavid got him like 9.
That's me. I got McDavid.
And you got him late too, didn't you?
No, I got him second. I was second pick.
Was it second pick?
Yeah.
Or who was it that whoever had 9th? It was like Ovechkin. No. 9th was Austin Matthews.
Yeah.
And whoever got him was like, gee, guys, I sure am sorry that I got stuck with Austin Matthews as my first. You know
Thanks,
what I mean?
guys. Yeah, I got McDavid, and whoever drafted behind me got
Draisaitl.
Leon Draisaitl. Yeah, which is not a bad third place prize there.
Yeah, seriously.
And my weak team in this division, and yeah, they're last place, but really it's more the young talent on this team, Troy Terry and Sam Steele, just haven't sub 10 points this season. And while Max Comtois has led the team, another young player, they brought up Trevor Zegras, who just got his first NHL assist the other night. He's Anaheim's young guys really haven't stepped up and kind of assumed the mantle of from older guys like Getzlaff and Adam Henrique and those guys. So and Adam Henrique, interestingly enough, he got put on waivers and he came back and he scored a couple goals since that. So maybe it lit a fire under him and perhaps he becomes trade bait as we get further into the season.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Anaheim's just a talent farm. You raise it and you let it go.
Yeah, I don't know. They again, this is a team that has held on to talent. Like they did eventually let Corey Perry go, but they still have Ryan Getzlaff.
They let Corey Perry go at the perfect time.
They did. Well, Corey just left didn't he leave on free agency?
Yeah, but I think that it was like he wanted a ridiculously low amount to re-sign, and they just wouldn't. Yeah, I think that was sort of his deal. It was like, hey, just tell me you want me, and I'll stay. And they were like, yeah, you're good.
Yeah. See, but yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. This league will reward those that kind of replenish the system and move players out. The earlier you do it, even the top level talent, they'll move those guys out and make sure that they are, replaced and that's how you get those long playoff runs. When St. Louis had 24 seasons, Detroit had 20 plus seasons. That's how you do it. Is that you have supreme talent, but then you move it out and you get pieces and parts that will eventually replace it. And
did you see
Pittsburgh and Chicago are going to have to really scramble to move beyond their glory years?
Did you see what Zegras went for his first NHL goal?
No.
What he attempted?
No.
The Michigan. He was a quarter inch away from his first NHL goal being the Michigan.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. It was slapped out of the air, but
but no, it was close, man. It was against Bennington. Yeah, it was like I swear, I think there was a quarter inch of glove is what came between him and pulling the lacrosse goal.
Yep.
New era.
Who you got in the West?
Vegas is hot. Obviously, nobody really needs to say that. Marc-Andre Fleury, Mark Stone, Max Pacioretty. Wow,
yeah,
he looks fantastic. My knot is basically everybody south of Colorado. it's kind of become a slugfest. Los Angeles still looks like they show up to play. I'm not going to be happy with Arizona unless I think they're a cup contender, and right now I don't think they are, so I don't really care. I still watch the games, and I still would show up if I was out there, but it's strictly entertainment. There's no hope. It's just like I like the colors right now. That's about where I'm at with hope for Arizona. Colorado, also definitely not hot either. Just inconsistent.
Yeah.
Just so much inconsistency. St. Louis has come out of nowhere in my book, holding that second tight. I didn't see that coming, man. I figured the St. Louis would be our fourth. Actually, I was kind of hoping to see the Kings come up this year and take third or so.
I think the Kings will probably run out of gas as we head towards the trade deadline.
Next year,
I don't know. I mean, the way that this division is shaking out, because even though that the Kings and St. Louis, because they had a really good week, have separated themselves a little bit, I think that the rest of this division is kind of in the, you're right. It's a slugfest. These teams are just beating the hell out of each other.
Well, they're fighting for like sixth.
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
Well, in the end, that's the medium point of these teams, and Minnesota looks good every once in a while. Los Angeles has looked good for a while.
But Minnesota is a team that hasn't shown up consistently for 20 years.
Yeah.
That's never been a consistent team. There's nobody on this team that's consistently good at anything.
They benched Zach Parise the other night. Did you see that?
No, but I'm not surprised because I don't think it matters.
He stayed out. I think it was against LA. He stayed out on a shift way too long, and no, it was against Vegas. I'm sorry. Minnesota was leading Vegas late in the game, and he stayed out for like a minute 45 on a shift. And when he had a chance to get off the ice, and later in that shift, they scored the game tying goal, and then Vegas won in overtime. And the next night, Parise was in the press box. Second time, the first time since his rookie season.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a way to get doghouse for sure.
Yeah. But he's moved steadily down that roster from first line all the way down to he's been fourth line.
No, he's irrelevant.
Yeah, because he's just
lost relevance.
Yeah. So,
which I understand that, man. He's got to be frustrated.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine you finally make it to the NHL. You get drafted by a team that has very high aspirations, that looks really solid, and then you perform like Lombardi but on a toilet. It's just I get it for sure. Yeah. He's just grasping for something that makes his career worth showing up for other than the money. He's not going to get it.
Yeah, well, he's
unless he can Kovalchuk his way into Washington or something.
Well, perhaps somebody takes a chance on him. I don't know. I don't think he does, because no one's going to take him for $8 million.
Oh no,
Minnesota's going to have to eat at least half that contract, and there's several years left on that thing. So, and there's lots.
They signed him for like 8 years whenever he's like 32.
Yeah. I mean, whoever signed that contract, I can't remember who the GM was at that point. I get what they were trying to do, because Parise is, a Minnesota boy, and so is Ryan Suter. Bring them both hometown.
Yeah, but that just sounds like they got paid to throw a fight.
Yeah, I mean, but both of these guys were older players, and they were contracted beyond their useful years in the NHL. Minnesota is rightfully paying the price for this. If Minnesota had offered that kind of term and years for a guy who is coming off his entry-level contract, that's a lot more understandable than some guy who had played his second contract after his entry-level contract coming over
Oh yeah.
to Minnesota. So,
Oh come on. Speaking of Minnesota,
oh yeah, I haven't even turned on a game yet.
who was it? Arizona's down 1-0. 3-2.
You can take a look at the score.
And great, that's awesome. Looks like Oliver Ekman-Larsson should get credited for that one.
Oh, I got an own goal, huh?
Not exactly, but also kind of maybe. Maybe I saw that from a completely wrong angle.
So Brock Besser has scored for the Vancouver Canucks, who are up on the Leafs with 9:32 left in the first. But they're getting heavily outshot, 10-5.
Ekman-Larsson should get an assist. It's actually going to be Matt Dumba. Is who's going to get credited with it.
Matt Dumba at 14-20, 1-0 Wild over the Coyotes. And Canadians are on the power play, 12 left in the first, no score against the Jets. So those are your three games. Ducks and Anaheim, or Ducks and Avalanche start.
Ducks are going to win that game.
I don't know. Yeah, they start in about 23 minutes. Blue Jackets and Stars. That might be, kind of the bottom level game in the Central. That might be interesting. Kings and Blues. That'll be an interesting game to watch. That starts at 9:00.
Yeah, and also hot take: 2 years from now, the LA Kings win a cup. 2022-23 season, Los Angeles Kings, your Stanley Cup champion.
I don't know if they're that far along, but they are going to be a contender in the West.
Watch me, Dave.
If they're smart about managing their prospects and they don't get tempted by Buffalo dangling Jack Eichel and dumping a bunch of their top prospects for Jack Eichel, which everyone's saying that Jack Eichel is going to get traded or might request a trade. Honestly, I don't think the Sabres are going to trade him.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what the Sabres are doing, dude. The Sabres don't do anything that makes sense. So if they start doing stuff that makes sense now, then I would be more surprised than if they didn't.
This is true. But no, I think, they know that not this season or next season, but the season after that, his no trade clause kicks in. He needs to perform to be able to attract a suitor because, he's getting a ton of assists this season. He's not scoring any goals. Tobias Reeder's got twice as many goals as Jack Eichel at this point on the Sabres. And that money he's getting is to put the puck in the net. And if he's not performing, no team's really going to want to deal a bunch of, their top prospects, maybe a few picks or Jack Eichel if they think perhaps maybe he's lost his mojo. Especially for that amount of money that he's getting paid right now.
I think that Eichel's issue is though he's a captive.
I don't know. I mean, the Sabres. You can't say that the Sabres didn't do anything to help Jack Eichel. That they didn't have chemistry this year. That's hard. But they brought in players this year. They brought in Eric Stahl to be a second line center. They brought in Taylor Hall to be a wing for him, and it's just not worked out. But they're trying. That's the crazy thing. The Sabres are trying to do something. It's not working out. They honestly they do have just absolutely horrible luck this season.
Well, they just have horrible luck in general.
Jeff Skinner, as much as I
bomb all the right pieces and they put it together upside down.
Yeah, well, I mean, as much as I bomb on Jeff Skinner still gets chances, still gets in alone on goal. He just somehow fires it right into the goaltender. I mean, he had 2 breakaways today against the Islanders. And Semyon Varlamov wasn't having a great game. I mean, it was just that the Islanders were dominating the Sabres in puck position from the second period on, and he had two quality chances and just didn't beat the goaltender.
Darcy
He
Kemper.
tried to outbeat him the second time he shot on him.
Dude, Darcy Kemper looks so bad right now.
Uh-oh.
He didn't even move his arm.
He must have been. Was he screened on that?
Yeah, he was screened on it, but like,
yeah, so he
not well screened.
Hmm.
He was like high school hockey screened. It was just like skate left.
Yeah.
Skate left, I'll shoot. It wasn't an actual in front of the net screen. You can play the replay on here, can't you?
Oh, so yeah, it's 2-0.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's see, Game Center.
Greenway. I don't even know who Greenway is.
Yeah, they
don't have it
goals up yet.
But, I mean, good for him. Good for Jordan Greenway. Congrats.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm just really hoping that we don't lose Aiden Hill to the expansion because I feel like we're going to.
So you think they're – well, does Kemper have a no-move clause?
I do not think so. I don't think they'll take Kemper.
Could.
I think they take Hill over Kemper.
Well, they have to protect a goalie.
It's definitely not going to be Ronta.
Yeah, so
Suitor to the box.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I just saw that they pull. It's kind of neat how NHL has this update because it shows that they pulled the goalie and they got six attackers on the ice.
Actually, if you go to video right there, no, down.
I miffed.
See where it says box? Go scroll up. See where it says box and then team stats?
Yeah. Oh, video.
And then video. I think it'll show you.
Nothing yet.
None yet.
Yeah, it usually takes about 10 or so minutes before the videos pop up. But got anything else for the week?
Seems like there was one other thing, but I don't remember what it was.
Let's see. Do I have any other notes?
Arizona's on the power play. That's news.
There you go. What else do I have? Oh, yeah. Matt Duchene is out 3 to 5 weeks.
Yeah, that's what it was. Matt Duchene's been out since he played for Columbus.
True. Yeah, he's he is sub 10 points for the Preds. The Preds are just awful. I mean,
I blame it on the bars on Music Row staying open until 1 again.
Is that it?
That's what happened in Nashville. Yeah.
I mean, I'd still play in Nashville just because of the Music Row, man. I
love Music Row.
That place is awesome, man.
Go to Kid Rock's.
I went to Alan Jackson's bar. I had a blast there.
So I was at the back porch, Alan Jackson's.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, and this is during COVID, and Music Row never shut down. So I was on a little big loop road trip. I'd been out to Springfield, Missouri, and I'd went down to Louisiana, and I was on my way back up, and I'd stopped over in Memphis, and I was stopping in Nashville and coming home. And I'm in Nashville, and this guy walks into Alan Jackson's, and there's like 5 people in there. And I'm just sitting there, eating a pizza, and he has a guitar case and gets out his guitar and just walks up on stage and starts playing. It's Jamie Johnson.
Oh, wow.
And he played like 4 or 5 songs and just came down and got a beer and sat at the bar and was like, "Hey, man, I really like your music." He's like, "Thanks. Everybody else does too." It's like, okay.
All right.
I just walked away.
All right. You're full of yourself. All right.
He said it in a nice way, though. He said it in like, I hear that a lot, like joking way. Yeah. It wasn't big-headed. It was just kind of,
okay.
Yeah. He seemed like a cool, oh, we got to fight.
Fight. Yes.
Foliano and Hayden. Hayden is young for Foligno. Hayden has no clue what he's doing. I think that he forgot to make a fist. Oh, no. Oh, he got his helmet off. Oh, he's just hanging in for the ride. Hit him at least once, kid. Come on. Give us one. Nothing.
Tackle him, something.
Did you see that?
I did not see the fight.
The Arizona bench is giving him taps because he tried. It's like whenever a professional singer throws the first pitch in a baseball game and they don't even make it like halfway to the plate, but everybody claps anyway.
Oh no, there was I went to a Nats game one time, and I didn't know it was the like Celebrate Pride night. It was like a June game or Celebrate Pride, so they had the from the White House, like the director of LGBTQ policy for this was the Obama administration, threw a pitch and it went in the dugout. I mean, it was like
that kind of. I always love to watch that.
I was like, oh man.
Did you ever see Obama throw first pitch?
Yeah, he was not a ball player.
No.
No.
Now Bush, that's a man that could throw a baseball.
He could. Well, he was smart about it. He warmed up in the underground bullpen at Yankee Stadium after 9/11. Because he knew that was like kind of very symbolic that he throw a strike. But
I could just imagine Bush like down there talking to a mirror being held by a Secret Service agent. Just all right, the world is counting on you. Just pep talking to himself. Man, Barber's rubbing his shoulders.
For some reason, I'm not getting the Edmonton versus or not Edmonton, Montreal in the Winnipeg game.
It is probably blacked out in NBCSN game then.
That's true.
Yeah. If you've got Suddenlink, I think it's channel 43.
Yeah, I've got we got the center ice package, but sometimes games are blocked out. Canadians are up on Josh Anderson goal, 10th of the season, 1-0.
I would love to see him come back. He was doing so good at the start of the season, and then he just fell off.
Yeah, a lot of those guys, Suzuki, Anderson, they took a dive, and so did the Canadians. And perhaps this gets them going.
But I think that we're pretty well.
All right, man.
Out. Short episode. Everything's kind of settled into its normal. Welcome to the league.
Yeah, there we go, man.
Doing that hockey.
Did I show my Crown Royal jersey?
I think that I mentioned mine. I don't think
you
mentioned yours.
So I got this jersey. I have a friend that worked for a beverage company that did Crown Royal stuff and did like stuff at bars. And he got this Crown Royal jersey. And when he stopped working for me, he was like, "Hey man, I know you like hockey. Do you want this jersey?" And I was like, "Heck yeah!" And
that's a good friend.
That is a good friend. He charged me I think I got for $50 or something like that.
Oh yeah, all day.
Yeah, I was like, "Yep." I wrote him a check for it. I sent him the check, and I put on the little 4-line sexual favors. I always like doing that for my friends.
That's how you're supposed to.
Anyway, thanks everyone for watching tonight. Thanks for your comments, and we'll check you out next week. Hopefully, we'll have some more firings to talk about in Buffalo, please. And
I'll take the block on talk. I'm good with it. I've accepted it.
Yeah, there you go. But if you're watching on YouTube, give us a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe, and hit the little bell to tell you when we're on next. And if you're on Facebook, give us a like and a share. We'd appreciate it. And we'll talk to everyone next week. Take it easy, everyone.
See you later, guys.